Hello, America and the world. My name is Shadrick Williams, and I'm a former U.S. Air Force vet, recently retired from the Veterans Administration Hospital in Pineville, Louisiana. I, like many other vets who've worked also for the federal government after either retirement or dismissal from the military, have been injured on the job. I'm trying to find out just how many there are out there that have been injured and have had cover-ups dealing with it. I happen to have been a person working in a nursing home care unit on a particular day when an incident happened with an old vet passing through wanting to go to the smoking room. He ran out between myself and some other people with carts, food carts. I had to veer off to keep from hitting him. The cart weighs 600 pounds. It subsequently hit me in the back, just below my shoulder blade, knocked me to my knee, ran over my left leg, and had my left arm pinned behind me. The cart has a switch for forward and back on one side of a bar and the brake on the opposite side. I was underneath the cart until a co-worker removed the cart from me. My finger remained on the switch until he could pry my hand from the cart. I'm trying to find out if there are any other people who have had similar cases, because as being one individual, there's not much that I can do. This incident happened on January 1st, 2004, and they claimed that on January 14th, 2004, that the case was closed. Yet, in May of 2004, I was sent to Shreveport, Louisiana, to the Overton Veterans Administration for a doctor to evaluate me, who gave me then declining doses of steroids in pill form. I also had a nerve induction test that was conducted at the Veterans Administration's 502 station where I worked by an employee there in that particular field. The lady told me that I had no real nerve damage, that there seemed to be no problem at all, even though I had swelling on my left side from the base of my skull down to my wrist. I asked her one question. The question that was posed to her was this: if my brain is my central nervous system, the beginning of it, my spinal cord happens to be a conductor, and the nerve endings that go from my spinal cord to either muscles or other organs or the peripheral nerve endings, why is it that she introduced voltage at the middle of an intersection instead of at the beginning and down to the user component? She asked me what did I mean. I said, well, from my training in the military is this, that if I was trying to find out what was going on with the user component that didn't receive the proper amount of voltage, I would make sure that my source voltage was up to specs, which I would have means voltage set. If I then checked at segments along that point and I found that there was a great drop in voltage, I would realize that from that point forward there is a short. So she asked me to shut up and to get away from her because I was trying to tell her her job, which was not the case. I also spoke to a congressman and a senator from here in Louisiana from my district, one being the 5th district, the other being congressman or congresswoman, should I say, and a sitting senator who happened to be female from my state. And they spoke to the VA and they decided that they were going to reopen the case. Thing is, I had to have neck surgery. The neck surgery entailed me having disc removed from between my vertebrae and having titanium plates and screws placed in for support. This is what was done. I still have 5 major muscle groups in my left arm in the cuff, rotor cuff, that has not been addressed, that has scar tissue, and also my left hip from the leg that was placed underneath the cart. I'm trying to find out why is it that there are no people in place that help us, veterans or employees, whether we are ex-military or civilians working for the federal government, in incidents like this. I know there has to be someone out there. I spoke to people dealing with the Oprah show, some people on the daily news shows, CNN. I've sent emails to various groups and no one has addressed them as of yet. I have a family. I have 5 kids and a wife. At this moment, my wife has been dealing with this since December 3rd, 2008, when I first left my job in order to have the surgery done. The initial surgery could not be performed at the time because I was having a lot of pain and my blood pressure was elevated. So they waited, and it was done in April of 2009 instead of December of '08. Then they placed me on leave without pay, which cost me all of my sick leave and my accrued annual leave, which was mine for an on-the-job injury. I also utilized all of my EE savings bonds that I had for a rainy day and hopefully to send my children to college, which now I have no income other than what they are giving me for a so-called disability retirement, which only started in March of this year. That's when I got my first check. My house is in foreclosure, and everything else that I have worked for over 30 years is in jeopardy. I'm asking for someone out there to understand. I'm going to put this onto a website, preferably YouTube. I know they have many people out there that are still in war zones, because I have 2 cousins that just returned who have had 6 tours in Iraq and in Afghanistan. There are 2 brothers. There are a lot of people that have been in situations that the federal government looks at and then they overlook, and they consider us not to be human. We're just actually objects utilized for their tactics. I ask for your help and support. A federal veteran. Thank you.